Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing okay. Um, yes, welcome, welcome. Guys, as you're watching, make sure you're tapping on the screens. Make sure you're pressing the like button. Make sure you're doing that. If you are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, okay? And can you please let me know if you can hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay, please. That I would appreciate that before I get started. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So how are you? How are you doing tonight? I hope you are well. Okay, I think I can actually check my. So you hear me loud and clear. Oh, thank you. Hey, James Bowen. Hello and good to see you. Pretty Poison 13. Hello and thank you very much. It's good to be back. I took a little break away from YouTube because yeah, I was just struggling with YouTube, but I think we may have sorted things out. I think so. Fingers crossed. We will be just fine, right? But how are you doing, James? How are you doing, Pretty Poison? How are you doing? And people who are watching, lurking, how are you all doing? Hope you are all doing well. Okay, so we are going to get started. I am not going to waste too much time getting started with this video. So, guys, as you all know, I'm an ex Christian. I grew up, uh, Christian girl, Christian church girl. And we were taught to take our Christian leaders, we were told to take them, seriously. These were the people who are sent by God. These are God's representatives on earth. And so we need to treat them like they are God's mouthpiece, God's servant here on earth. So the video you're about to watch is going viral, right? It's going viral on YouTube. When I first saw the video, it was at almost 1 million views. So I thought, a preacher, a pastor talking about God at what 1 million views, what could he be talking about? Right? I went and had a look. From the very first 5 minutes, I was just putting my hand on my head. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And so I realized that a lot of Christian leaders, a lot of religious leaders, they've gotten away with a lot of BS because no one dares to point out their errors, point out the fallacies, point out the half truths, right? We just let them carry on. Now this video is at 1.7 million views. And so you are going to do me a favor. Honestly, I'm going to need your help because this is not just about me. I want you, as you are listening, right? Do me a favor and see if you can spot anything that doesn't quite sound right to you. And when you spot it, make sure to put it in the chat. Make sure to let me know anything you hear that you think, that's suspicious, right? Please, let's do this together so that at 1.7 million views. But before I show you the video, let's do something. So let's go and look at the comments, right? I'll read just a few of these comments so that you can understand. Look, my comment is the first one there. I've put a comment there. My comment says, a lot of his claims aren't making sense. I call BS. I call bullshit. How can a snake be around the baby without the mother able to have access to the child? How is the baby going to feed? And what did the snake eat? Sorry, but the math is not mathing. His stories don't add up. This is my comment. But the rest, the other people, what a testimony. Jesus is so good. Thank you for blessing us with this video that must be watched from beginning to the end. The levels. Jesus is King. What a testimony. May the name of the Lord be praised. Praying for the protection and safety of all the men and women. My soul was filled with chills by this testimony. That at the mention of the name Jesus, every knee shall bow, blah, blah, blah. Who else thinks this should become a movie? This will be so powerful in the theaters. Guys, someone thinks that this you're about to watch and listen to should be made into a movie. So when they say strap in, strap in, you're about to be taken on a ride, on a movie, right? But guys, if you are a critical thinking person, if you are one who thinks logically, from the first 5 minutes, you already start to spot the problems. They start as soon as, anyway, we'll get there. Someone says, the most powerful part of this testimony is when he said, God told the girl that the least in my kingdom is greater than the greatest in the... Okay. I myself exposed... Oh, listen, okay, you know what? Let's go and listen. And let's go and watch. Hey, Michaela, how are you, Michaela? Good to see you. Oh, Michaela, you ready for some bullshit? Michaela, I think we started watching this video just the other day. So what I'm going to do, the very first part, for some of you who were not here, I would rush through that bit because we started with some bullshit. 1.7 million views, guys. Okay, right. Let's go and see what our friend has to say. I'll speed this up until we get to the part where we had watched up to. Okay, so here we go.
He could ascend in the spirit and become like an authority. She hits me in the path, and she's not saying a word, just looking at me. Then I knew now it's bad. Because I had never encountered such kind of power.
Welcome to Pressed On TV. Today we're going to be going into one of the deepest testimonies I have come across as it pertains to deliverance from the occult and witchcraft. And I'm so excited about this testimony. I came across this man in 2017, and this testimony radically impacted my life. Now, I've got a background. I'm half Ghanaian and half Nigerian. And with the kind of background I have, some of you who are watching have similar background to me. You're probably Nigerian or Ghanaian or African. You would have heard testimonies of people that have been delivered from the occult or have had encounters with Jesus and shared of how Jesus delivered them. And I've heard many of these sort of testimonies. However, this one we're about to hear, in my opinion, is one of the most intense and deep I've come across. And I believe God's going to use this testimony to impact you in a significant way. So I wanted to state here now, our guest today, we actually had to fly him all the way from Uganda to capture this testimony. Because when I heard this many years ago, I was so impacted. I got connected with him, and we've been relating for a few years, and the Lord made it possible for us to be able to get him over to Manchester. So,
guys, they paid for this pastor to come all the way from Uganda to Manchester, UK, to come tell this. Do me a favor. When you spot anything, please put it in the chat. I need the things that you know. No, this is not adding up. When I used to watch Judge Judy would usually say something. She says, if it sounds too good to be true, it is probably a lie. That's the words of Judge Judy. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a lie. So, right, okay. Flown all the way from Uganda to UK to come and tell this. Okay, here we go.
For the first time, it's his first time in the UK, and I'm excited that we're going to get to hear from him today. So would you welcome with me James Kawalya from Uganda? James, it's good to have you in Manchester.
Amen. I thank God that I'm here. And this is my first time to be in the UK, and the timing of the Lord is the best. I know this is the first time also I'm recording my testimony in its fullest. Must have been sharing in different platforms, but this is the first time I'm sitting in a recording to share my life testimony. So I thank God for this opportunity. And oftentimes when I'm sharing my testimony, it's like I'm going back through those experiences and need a grace. Sometimes the pain returns, the pain of the thing I went through. But I thank God that now, after many years now, it's 23 years since I gave my life to Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And the 23 years has been amazing. I have seen the goodness of God. And also, as we start this journey, I want to tell the people that the purpose is to glorify Jesus, not the devil, not what the devil can do or what he has done. But at the end of the day, Jesus is the winner.
Yeah.
So that's why. So I'm glad that I'm here.
I'm so excited to have you here in Manchester, because as we go into the details of your testimony, I'm going to be asking you questions about, things that have happened in your past. And as you share them, there'll be things that, I'm sure lots of people may not even understand, because we have lots of people watching. People from African backgrounds may be able to relate. Some of you watching are from Western backgrounds, and you might not understand some of the depth of the occult. In fact, some of these things will blow your mind when you hear, the depth to which people engage in dark activities. But I know, just as James said, God is going to use this to glorify his name. And I also want to point this out before we go into this testimony, that right now you're a pastor. You lead a church in Uganda, and you're used in incredible ways by God in deliverance ministry, miracles, and God moving. In fact, primarily,
he is a pastor. God is using him to spread his word. So these are the kind of people that the Christian God picks up and says, I want you to speak for me, right? Don't forget, Christian daddy God, he's up there doing his thing, whatever he does there. And he looks down to the earth and says, who am I going to select to speak on my behalf? Oh, he picks this man. You come and speak on my behalf, right? So they say, all this you're about to hear, is God going to be glorified in all of this? Okay, right. Christian daddy, God up there, right, must be very happy right now just listening to this. I bet he's thinking, oh, somebody is talking. My servant speaks. Okay.
you're an intercessor. You're using strategic. Do you want to just give us an idea of some of the things you do right now?
I am leading a ministry called Lifeway Institute of Deliverance. What we do and what God has called me to do is to strategically train intercessors to pray and take over territories for God. So mostly I'm not pastoring the church, though I style the church. We are having other pastors pastoring the church. We're also running a Christian television station in Uganda, worship television, just for worship and prayer. One of the things the Lord told me to do after encountering Jesus and seeing the power of prayer. By the way, I knew the power of prayer before I became born again. I kept encountering people praying and wondering what kind of lives are they. One example, maybe to bring it out, is I was still in the occult, and I was in the city in Kampala, and I remember I got instruction from our leaders to vacate the city and stay away 70 miles out from the city and remove all our operations, because a man of God was coming in the city. And I remember we were told that if we stay in the city where that man is, his prayer would kill us, all convert us. And I remember the instruction was stay out of the city 70 miles away, but also do not enter the city even 21 days after he has left. So I was still in the occult.
Okay. A preacher was coming from the US to his country, but he was still in the occult at that time. And they came and informed him that we have a preacher coming from the US. This man is very powerful. His prayers are so powerful that anyone in the occult cannot withstand this man's powers. So we suggest that you leave the city. Leave and go very far away, right? And even after the preacher is gone, do not come back for how many days? 7 days, because his power is so strong. Wait, you're telling me that this American preacher that is coming to Uganda, so powerful, but he can't use those powers over in the US of A. Now he's coming to Africa to come and utilize those powers. Really? Really? I mean, what are we doing here? So preacher is coming all the way from there to come and use powers over here. And you, who is a native of Uganda, have to vacate your home because a preacher is coming from the US, so powerful. Okay, guys. Okay, all right.
I was like, what kind of power is this? Because I knew the power, I knew certain, I knew I had been all these kind of powers. But then we were being warned not to be around that man's, where he is in the city. That man was Maurice Cerulo. So he was coming to the city. And I remember we were told, stay out of the city 70 miles away and do not enter the city another 21 days. Incredible. Because even after 21 days, his power, the effect of his power remains in the atmosphere after 21 days he has been in the city. So I knew the power of prayer. So when I came to Christ, the Lord was telling me, okay, you have seen the mistakes, the errors, because one of the work I was doing before I came to Christ was fighting.
Guys, please, y'all are helping me. Anything you spot, anything you hear, right, that does not add up to you, please make sure to point it out. So this Maurice Cerulo guy come over to your country and you have to vacate your home because this person that you have no business with, because he has powers. And after he has gone 21 days, do not return. Okay.
Churches and breaking churches. And the Lord was saying, now you know how you broke these churches, and you know what were the errors and the mistakes and the weaknesses. So can you train an army of intercessors all over the world to bring out, to stand and take territories?
Wow.
So we are working with nations like Sri Lanka. We will have work in Sri Lanka, I work in Singapore, I work in Botswana, I work in Gabon, and a few places where we've been doing.
You've been in Europe to a few places as well.
We're having a work in Munich. We're doing a great work in Munich to raise intercessors, to train young people to intercede, and then they take over the nations in prayer. So one of my calling, people call me apostle as pastor, but my call is an intercessor. That's so I don't know if you can call me intercessor, James.
I like that. I like that. So now let's go back to the beginning. What are the earliest memories you have?
My memory,
guys,
when I was around
listen to
3 years, I realized in my home I was living with my mom and my uncle, the brother to my mom, and no one else. And it was strange because I was wondering why other people don't come down home. Later I realized that when I was 3 months old, my father and my sister
speed down. Yeah, I can do. I can do. I do that. Sorry about that. Sorry. I will slow it down. Hold on. And thanks for asking. Okay. Take that back. Few seconds. So
what are the earliest memories you have?
My memory, when I was around 3 years, I realized in my home I was living with my mom and my uncle, the brother to my mom, and no one else. And it was strange because I was wondering why other people don't come down home. Later I realized that when I was 3 months old, my father and my sisters left the home and did not return because of the strange things that were happening in the house, in the home. Now, I don't know what happened, the strange things. I didn't see it unless when my mother told my story. But when I was 3 years, the event that I can remember is the death of my uncle. When I began now my initiation into witchcraft when I was 3 years.
I want us to come back to the death of your uncle, but before we come back to that, can you tell us what happened before you were born? Because this is really a critical part of understanding your journey. Give us an idea of what was going on with your mom and a marriage and her desperation to have a son that laid the foundation for you to come into this world.
So I came to hear this story when I was around 12 years, to hear the story of my birth and why I was strange. Now, by the age of 12, I was already deep in the occult. I had been made a trainer of witches when I was the age of 9. At the age of 7, I was a territorial witch in charge of a territory. I had strange powers.
He was already in the occult from the age of 12. He was already in charge of witches at the age of, he was training witches at the age of 12. Why is there no mention of the name of the cult? Why is there no mention of the name of this cult? Okay.
From older than my mother could come and bow to me. Politicians, businessmen for powers. So I kept wondering, where did I get all these powers? Where am I strange? But my mother kept taking me to different witch doctors for help to be delivered from those powers. But several times we could go to these places to the witch doctors, and the witch doctors could chase my mother away, claiming that when she takes me to them, I steal their powers. So like even the witches, the sorcerers, the diviners, even they hated me because this baby has strange powers. So my mother decided to take protect me to a man in Pemba.
Okay. All these witch doctors, are they not all working for the same person? Aren't they supposed to be working for the same source, Satan? So how are they chasing his mother away because he's taking their powers? You all are working together for you're all working for the same person. So if one comes and takes your power, you should be happy, right? How are they chasing his mother? Wait, his mother was taking him to all these places to try and get him to get rid of the powers. But then when they get there, his mother's chased away because he's stealing the people's powers. People, James, I know this is making sense to you. I know. Pretty Poison, I know this adds up to you, right? This is when these people start with this kind of stories. When this okay, let me continue.
Pemba is in Tanzania, in the Indian Ocean, who was it was called a sultan. So in this journey, she said, I'm going to take you to this man, and this man is going to help you. So that's when I asked. I remember we were in Dasa, we were on the port trying to get a ferry to go to Pemba. And I asked her, but mom, tell me something. Why am I strange? And I could see when I remember I looked at my mother, and like this time she was desperate to tell me and say, please, can you not interfere with where we're going? Can we please don't interfere? So like to convince me not to interfere, my powers, the power I had as a boy, for where we're going. So she had to tell me the story of my life, how she ended up in this. So this is what she tells me. She says, when she got married the reason she married my father, because her father had died, and her father was a rich chief, and she was the only daughter, and she had a brother, my uncle then. And when her father died, she says she knew the family in Africa, most times the family would take over every property. So she needed protection. So
right.
By the grace of God, she says, at the time when her father died, and she's desperate, she's just a young lady, then my father started dating her. And my father, coming from a prominent family, a very known family and very strong, she thought this man, if he marries her, she'll get protection. So she gets into the family. Now, my father also was marrying her because he had been told he would find a young girl, marry early, and get as many children as possible. Because my father, being a son of a chief, son of like a prime minister, he was the only son. The brother had died. He had 7 sisters, the only son. So they were like, now you need to get a woman, get children, and raise a heir for the throne, like the chiefdom. So he marries for the purpose of getting a son. So when she married, my father and my mother married, she gave birth. The first child was a girl. The second child, also a girl. The third child, also a girl. Now, by the fourth child, the entire family, the chiefs, the tribe, they're all like, this woman is a waste. Because in my tribe, if you have only girls, they say you don't have children.
Wow.
So they wanted a heir. So in desperation, she went different witch doctors in different parts of the nation. And so she went, they told her, we're going to help you conceive. Then she conceived the 5th child, who was now also a girl. She went on different witch doctors, different altars, and also she conceived again, the 6th child, also a girl. And she tells me that she was so desperate because she knew if she can't get a son, she will lose the marriage. And now her life will be wasted. Though at that time, she told me that someone told her that there's someone who can help.
Someone told her someone can help. Okay, right.
She had gone to all kinds of altars in Uganda and outside Uganda. She had traveled different parts.
So there are people that can help you in the process of birthing a boy or a girl. How will they do it? I don't know. How are they going to do? This is one thing I don't understand. Some people believe that you can do there's some sexual positions that you can engage in, and you can determine whether it's a boy or it's a girl. Look, I don't believe in all that stuff. I just think this is one thing that we've got absolutely no control over. Anyone telling you that they can come to me and let me help you, and we can help him make a boy, or we can help him make a girl. They're scamming you.
And gave different sacrifices. She had the money. She could sell her properties to travel different places to help her conceive. So on this particular journey where she went, she was told to go to a forest in Tanzania. There's a place in Tanzania.
So guys, she needs a baby now. She's going to go to the
So she went there, and she realized that when she arrived at the place, they told her she had to undress and live in the forest for 7 days, going through cleansing.
Wow.
Before she appears before the person to help her. Now, before there's something I want us to note here, that was the king of darkness, but they understand the principle of consecration and cleansing.
Yeah.
Now I understand after. So they tell her you have to undress, stay in the forest, cold, don't eat anything cooked for 7 days. So after the 7 days, you are clean enough to appear before this priest who was going to help her. So she says when she appeared after 7 days, that this priest was a woman who always lived in that forest, and she was like the chief witch of the entire continent, because all the witch doctors.
I mean, the entire country.
So this priestess lives in the forest. The priestess lives in the forest. So you have to go and get yourself cleansed for 7 days before you can even appear before the priestess. Why? Because you are looking for a baby boy. Okay.
Of Africa, not continent.
Wait, she was the chief witch of the entire continent of Africa.
Of Africa. So
wow.
All the witches, or the wizards, or the...
I call BS. I call bullshit. She's the priestess of all the witches. What? Oh, she's an intercontinental priestess. Intercontinental witch. What is this? James, they all have magical powers. Of course. It's a magical forest, and anything can happen. His mom had to bring a unicorn for payment. You see? Huh. Okay.
Sorcerers or the politician, the leaders could go to her for powers. So she lived in the forest, that woman, that priest, and she had only one breast, like one breast in the middle of the chest.
So all the people that went to her to see her.
Guys, I think I need to be writing all these things down. The things that the issues we have already, right? Oh goodness, this is the priestess has one breast in the middle of her chest. James, you said it's what did you call it? Magical forest. All right. Guys, I'm not saying that people cannot have deformities, of the breast. I'm not saying that at all. You can have deformities. You can have, things. But one breast in the middle of the chest. Pastor, take it easy, please. Pastor, please. Come on, stop with the bullshit. Wait, let me write this down. Hold on. So far so good. What has he said? He has said he has talked about this witch in the forest with one breast. Witch in the forest with one breast. Okay, guys. How are people listening to this? Guys, this video has 1.7 million views and counting. Less than 10 days ago. I don't know whether it was recorded less than 10 days ago or if it was put on the channel less than 10 days ago. 1.7 million views and counting. Okay.
Often went through similar rituals.
Similar
They
ritual.
have to stay in the forest for 7 days,
Naked.
eating leaves and
and
stuff.
fruits for 7 days. And then after 7 days, you appear before her. That was the ritual. And it was like everyone had to go through that. So there were many people there. So she said when she appeared, when she came to her, she looked at that witch, that priest looked at my mother and said, "Go away, I will not help you." So she has been in the forest for 7 days. And now she's walking away. She says this. Now, this is what she told me. She said, as she was going away, she looked in the sky and saw a sign, something that told her that she has a son. She doesn't know what told. So she walks back to the place where they register and tells them, please, I want to go and try again. Then they tell her, but also, if you try again, you have to go again through another 7 days. Now, the 7 days she went through, and then she went another 7 days, at 14 days. Later, I'll be sharing with you, when I was sick, my deliverance, I had to go through the same cycle of being delivered, the 7 days and another 7 days, but now in the church setting. Because I want to tell people that salvation is free, but deliverance is a price, a price of consecration and being set apart. So she said that, so the second time, the next 7 days.
That's a lie. Salvation is not free. Salvation is not free. First of all, why do we need salvation? What do you mean salvation is not free? What's this salvation that we need? Who asked for this? Jesus come and sacrifice himself on a cross. Who begged him? Who asked him to do that? And at what cost is this salvation to us? No, at what cost? Some people, this salvation it's costed them their money. It has costed their time, their rational thinking, critical thinking skills. Some, it has cost them houses, cost them cars, their savings. I'm sorry, salvation is not free. Christian salvation, not free at all. Hey, Ansel, it's good to see you again. Yes, it's been a while. I haven't been on here for a while, but my goodness, I missed you all. Woo.
She goes to appear. And when the priestess saw her, said, you are back. You are back. Then my mother tells me, said, okay, I'm back, but you need to help me. Then this woman looks at her and says, well,
breast in the middle of
I
the
can
chest.
help you, but I can see. Now, I don't know what eye they were using. I can see in the spirit, you have a son. But he's very far in the rocks.
It's very far in the rock.
In the rocks. Now, that's the statement of my mother.
Very far
He's far in the rocks.
Okay.
And there is a strange star on him. If I bring him out, he will be a problem to our powers. The only thing I can do, if you can offer sacrifices, but also if you can accept the condition we shall give you. So my mother asked, what sacrifice? They told her, I have to give 7 cows for 9 months. That is 63 cows as a sacrifice. Then say, okay, I'll do that, because he was desperate and she had the means. Then they tell, okay,
7 cows every month for 9 months.
For 9 months. That is 63. So
this woman has 6 daughters already. And now she's looking for a son. She goes to this forest. She has spent 14 days in the forest, naked. Naked. Guys, you see the people that believe in spirits, ghosts, these other, magical places that there is no evidence for. Honestly, you can get them to do absolutely anything. How do you convince a mother of 6 girls that because she's looking for a boy now, she should go naked into a forest? And then when she's done, she now has to do some sacrifices. 63 cows. 63 cows for one son. That's an expensive son. Ooh-wee. Yes, that's what this Laron. She couldn't be, she had to be naked. He said that. So, guys, y'all are doing me a favor as you're listening. Please, anything you're hearing that it's no, it's not adding. The math is not mathing. The addition is not adding up. Eh? Please just make sure to put it in the chat, because so that it's not, they won't say I am the one, I'm the one who is making the claims, right? Let's do this together. Just say spot 63 cows. Okay.
Then the other condition was, okay, if you conceive and give birth, and this is a boy, you promise you will offer him to that woman, the princess, as a husband. She didn't know what it means. She didn't know what it meant. First, tell me, she didn't know that it was that. And then they told her, okay, when you give birth, you must bring that child to the forest before the end of the first day. In other words, before the sun goes over him. She tells me she didn't know what was involved in. So she left, offered the sacrifice, returned home, she conceived. To a surprise, she gave birth to a boy. Now, the vow was to carry that boy from the city where she gave birth to the forest around 300 and maybe 400 kilometers away from the city. And that is 1975. The transport means was not that good. I don't know how she traveled. So she travels from the city in Kampala to go to fulfill the vow. What shocked her, she tells me, when she arrived at the forest, this time it was not, she didn't go through the ritual, but there was like a wedding. Hundreds of people were gathered. They knew she was coming. Gathered for what? And she realized it was now going to be the wedding of her one-day-old son and the 60-year-old woman.
So for those of you watching, I don't know if you understand what he's just said. On the day he was born, on the day you were born, you were married to a
60-year-old witch.
A 60-year-old witch that was the Grand Master Witch for the continent of Africa. That is mind-blowing.
And you know,
it's not mind-blowing. It is not mind-blowing. It's not. How can someone who just had a baby leave the hospital, take this baby how many kilometers to go and have her baby married off to a 60-year-old woman? And you're telling me that all these people were already waiting. They already knew. So they already knew that this woman had had the baby and she was coming over there. And this mother allowed her son to be married to a one-day-old baby. Guys, one-day-old baby married to a 60-year-old woman. This is what we are doing here. Pastor, you see how the thing is flowing out his mouth so easily, right? See how the thing is just flowing. At no point does any of them stop to think, could I just be saying some BS here? Okay, guys. I mean, 1.7 million views.
What she told me, the wedding was conducted by the witches of the continent first, and then the bishop of the diocese also came and conducted the wedding.
Yes, it's the same one, Laron. It's the same one. We started from the beginning.
So, and that was also when she told us, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." Bishop so and so, which I knew. Let us share how he got involved in my life, and now he moved me from that same bishop from the witchcraft to the occult, because they are different. So for her, when she reached there, all these people, the celebrations from different parts of the continent had come to the forest for the wedding. Now, according to her, that was the moment where this woman, the witch, was transferring her powers to the boy, the one-day-old boy. Now, I was one day old. I didn't know what was happening. So after the ritual, after the ceremony, day of celebration and the wedding, the marriage is conducted, the covenant and all the sacrifices. So they tell her, you know what? Now, this child is not just a child. This is now a man. So you're not going to breastfeed him because now he is somebody's husband already.
Wow.
And she told me that in her mind, she said, well, okay, I'll go home. This people will not be there. I have to breastfeed my child.
She can't breastfeed her 1 day old baby because he's now a man. He's now married. Guys, when I tell you that people that believe in spirits, spirit world, and spirit kingdom, heavenly kingdom, and all these other kingdoms that we have never seen or heard of before, the things that they conjure up in their minds, even it will even leave you second guessing yourself that am I the one who is getting it wrong? Could there just be a magical kingdom somewhere? Right? They will leave you in a state of perplexity. You'll be perplexed. You'll be wondering, is it me? Oh, sugar. 1 second, guys. I don't know what's up with my. Hold on. I don't know what's up. Oh, here we go. Give me 1 second. My battery is. It says my battery is low. 1 second. Wait. Why does this always happen to me? Okay. Can you all still see me? See me and hear me? What's in the 7 levels of hell is wrong with this man? This is preacher. He was flown all the way from Uganda to the UK to come and tell this story, guys. Now, okay, we are at the point now where he's born and he is now married to the chief priestess intercontinental. This priestess, she is the one in charge of all the witches in the whole of Africa. Now he's married to her and his mother must not breastfeed him. So this is where we are now. Okay, right. Thanks, Ansel. Okay, here we go, guys. Thou shalt not breastfead your 1 day old
I've
baby.
suffered a lot. I've paid the price. I have done all this. Like he was treasuring this child. So she returns home. When she went home, my father said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Okay, and all this and this."
So did your father not know what she was doing?
He didn't know.
He did not
He didn't know because when she left hospital, she just went to the. So my father, "Where's my wife?" She's looking at her. So when she appears, "Where have you been?"
So he had no idea that she was this deep in her passion to find a boy or to get a son.
He didn't. The only thing he knew, my mother could disappear for days, and you know where he has gone. So when she returned home, she says, "I was a baby. She put me in the baby cot in the bed, then go."
Guys, I need you all to listen to this next bit. I need you all to listen to this next bit. So she's not allowed to breastfeed her baby, right? So she takes him home and puts him in his cot. Listen, guys, just listen to the next bit. And I'm going to ask you a simple question. Do you believe it happened? Or do you believe it's possible that it happened? Or do you think, no, ain't no way in hell this thing happened? So I need you, just listen. Baby is in the cot, okay?
Go dress up, clean up, and then come and breastfeed the child. And when she returned, she found a python coiled around the baby. Yeah, python.
Yeah.
Python.
And she says she could not come near because of the python. So she ran out. The people in the village came around. My father came around. They could see the snake, and no one could come in.
No one.
But they don't kill the snake.
I don't know why. So she says for 30 days, for 3 months, she could not come near me.
So was the python wrapped around you every day, all day, 24/7?
24/7. So she says she didn't breastfeed me. She didn't come near me. And the whole village could come and just peep in. And then there was rumors around that this woman gave birth to a child and a snake. Now, I heard those rumors when I was growing up. It was the talk of the entire community. You know, that child is a twin. They could say he's a twin. He was born with a snake. But my mother says no.
Guys, wait, hold on. The baby was in the cot. A snake came along. A python came along and wrapped itself around the baby. So now nobody could come close to the baby. For 3 months. 3 months. How did the baby eat? How did the baby feed? Huh? How? What did this baby feed on? Okay. What did the snake feed on for 3? So a snake, a python just comes along and wraps itself around the baby for 3 months. Okay, guys, everyone. You believe this or no? Let's see. I need to see so that I know the kind of, so I know where we're going next. So I know whether this is just a me problem or it is, okay, I'm the sane one here. For 3 months, a python comes, wraps itself around a baby and does not leave. Why? Because she's been told not to breastfeed that baby. So the python is there to make sure that that baby is not breastfed. No, you all believe this. You all must believe it. James says that snake loved the baby so very much. They lived on love and they lived on love and magic. Okay, guys, you all believe this story, right? This man has churches in Munich, in all different parts. He is called by God to be an intercessor. This is what he tells folks on. All right. And guys, in case you're wondering, why am I doing this? I need you to understand that this is Christianity. This man is working on behalf of God, Jesus's father, Jesus's daddy up there. This man is Holy Spirit filled. This man is one of the ones that are on their way to heaven. This is Christianity. This is what Christianity looks like in Africa. This is the religion that was brought to us. We were told, get rid of the spiritual things you've got going on there. Your juju, your priests, and all those or whatnot. Just get rid and take on Jesus. Jesus will save you. It's been how many years? Now, look what we have.
She didn't give birth to a snake. The snake just came when she came back to the house. Now, I don't understand how this was done. So after 3 months, my father left.
Guys, if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe, okay?
And left the home. She remained alone. And because of that, my mother got a mental breakdown. So she was not like a mad woman in the community. So she's left alone with a child, a demon child, with a brother who was living with her. Now the husband, my father, and the children left, so she's deserted. So by the time I'm three years old, the only person I know is my uncle and my mother, who has no attachment with me. Why? She's mentally disturbed. She always spend all her time alone in the bedroom. There's no way. So as a child, I didn't have any attachment with her. I didn't see my sisters. I didn't meet my father. The only person now I know is my uncle, the young brother to my mother, who like was also, I don't know what happened. He was also addicted to alcohol. So he could drink and what. Now, so he tells me, I remember as other three, when he was drinking his alcohol, he could give me, because that's the only thing he had. My mother did not breastfeed me. The husband had left, deserted her. And
use his powers
she
to help
tells
his
me
mom,
that,
right?
the day my father left, and with my sisters, is the day the snake left also. So when he left, also it left. So she went with this child.
Guys,
and now she was so hard. She was so
I
heartbroken.
call
And then she got into a mental
bullshit
breakdown
on this
because of
story.
the husband leaving her.
I
She's
call
alone.
bullshit
So as
on
a
this
child,
story. I'm sorry.
in that house with only my.
This woman was looking for a boy child after she had had 6 girls. Right? Oh, sorry, you guys couldn't see the video. Look at me. Let me put this back. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Six girls. She went through all this trouble, stayed in a jungle for 14 days naked, sees the chief priest, does the sacrifice, gives 63 cows, finally has a boy that she has no access to for 3 months because a snake is wrapped around it. And now the husband takes the 6 girls and walks away. You would have thought that the chief priestess would have seen this and said to her, look, this is what's about to happen to you. Right? No. No one saw this. No one saw it. Guys, this is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And what was I even about to say? I was going to say something, but never mind. Let's continue. This is bullshit. He takes baby, and now the snake, the moment the father goes with the 6 girls, the snake now decides, now it's time to leave. What is good? Honestly. All right. Sorry, guys.
Uncle. Like all the community, the relatives, the people in the community, no one comes to our home because the talk of the community, the talk of the village is, in that house,
It's a snake.
there's a snake.
Yeah.
And there is a boy who was born. So
you had no connection with anyone else apart from your mother, who was mentally unstable, and your uncle was, a drunkard who was struggling with alcohol addiction. And then you're 3 at this point.
Yeah.
Your earliest memories are around 3 and 4.
3 and 4. That's the memory I have.
And then something really tragic happened.
So the only person I know is my uncle. And one day we are staying in a small room with him. I remember I was 2 and 4. I have this memory. And then the door, someone hit the door, opened it, and my uncle came running. And then these 5 guys, they were soldiers. By that time, the nation was in a civil war. So they came into the house. I don't know why. They came chase my uncle. Then they shot him. But what's surprising that they didn't kill him. They shot him 5 times and watched him bleed. Like I'm there, I'm sitting there.
Guys, make sure you're tapping on your screens. Make sure you like the live, please.
They shoot, wait. They shoot, wait. They shoot, wait. And then the delivery, I remember they're shooting in parts that will not kill him instantly. So then I see these men are standing there in the room and they're watching him, and he's bleeding and bleeding slow.
And they saw you there?
Yes, they made sure that I'm there. So they bring me near him. They shoot him when I'm near him, and they watch his bleeding, and I saw him die. So like he bled for like 2 hours. They're there watching. And when like he stopped like groaning and crying, and then he slowly died, and that way I blacked out. So when I blacked out, when I woke up the next morning, the people in the community had come around to see what happened. I realized I'd become a different person. I realized by that time something had left. The human, like I was not human. From that time until I got born again at 24, my greatest joy was to cause misery. I was a sadist. I enjoyed causing trouble, killing. I enjoyed like seeing people suffer, and that would bring me joy. But I can trace that happened the day my uncle. Like now I've understood after I became a Christian, when I was going through my healing, because I got saved, but the healing took time. It took like 10 years to be healed. My healing, especially deliverance and healing, took 10 years because parts of my life were fragmented. See,
so part of your soul.
Now I later understood that at that moment a part of my soul was trapped, and later I realized that after I got married, because when I got married, I could not relate with my wife as husband and wife.
Wow.
So I went in prayer, and then the Lord took me to that moment when I was 3 years and showed me when I blacked out what happened. Because God is all-knowing. Jesus is all-knowing. So to deliver me, he had to show me what happened when I blacked out, what happened to my soul, where was I trapped. So when I got married, I married when I was 36, very late. So I was a 36-year-old man, but my soul was 3 years. So I remained trapped at 3 years. But now I was a man with a body, even born again now, got married, but I could not relate with my wife as husband because I had been...
Yeah, because of that trauma.
That trauma. So when that happened, my uncle was dead, and I became a different person. Those people in the occult came to my mind and say, you know what?
Guys, this is why when it comes to mental health issues and religion, I'm very opposed to the methods that are utilized by religious people to help alleviate the symptoms of mental health issues. This man reckons that whatever happened to him at 3 years old made him black out and his soul was trapped. And so now when he got born again and he got married, he could not relate with his wife until God stepped in and God took him back to when he was 3 years old to say, remember when this happened to you? This is what's causing you to be the person that you are right now. So if you are not born again, God is not going to come and tell you nothing. God only reveals to his born again people that this is the cause of your mental health issues. I hope you all can see how dangerous these ideas can be when you create this culture of whatever's going on must be rooted in your past. There must be something, someone has done something which only God can help. One preacher, one pastor, one somebody. You've got to come. They foster a culture of people that are afraid for no apparent reason. Afraid. Can you all still hear me? I don't know if you all can still hear me. It looks like, I hope I've not frozen. Can you all still hear me? Please let me know that you can hear me, because I am not sure what's happening with this live now. I'm not sure what's happening. Can you all still hear me? Okay, I'll just carry on because maybe everything's looking okay. So I'll just carry on. Okay, I'll just carry on. But just let me know that you can still hear me. Okay? So I'm not just talking to myself.
What has happened to you?
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
You have to give her now officially to us. You have to surrender him to us. So she tells me, but now this one I remember it. She got me. And there is a place where there's the headquarters of the occult in our nation. It's like a cave. It's like a cult. As if they believe in God, but not God. They don't believe in the Bible. It's like a cult where politicians go and even religious leaders. So she takes me to this place. This place, like it's a cult, like a religion. Now, when their leaders die, they don't bury them. They embalm the bodies and pile them in a cave, the dead bodies. So she took me and handed me over to those people. Now, remember, my uncle is dead. I have this pain. And now the only person I know now remaining is my mother. So she hands me over to these people who I don't know. They get me. Now, remember, I have the trump, just lost my uncle. Put me in a cave with dead bodies, lock it for 3 days and 3 nights without food, without water.
And how old are you at this point?
Now 2 weeks for. It's just a few weeks from the death of my uncle.
Wow.
So now I remember the pain and the betrayal I felt as a child, that now my only mother, the one who I thought would protect me, has handed me over to these people who have now locked me in a cave with dead bodies, pitch dark, day for 3 days, hungry without food. Now, so what happened in that?
His mother must be very cruel. This man's mother must be very, very cruel, heartless. First, you hand over your 1-day-old baby to be married to the chief priestess of all the witches in the whole of Africa. You let them do whatever sacrifice with your 1-day-old baby. And then a few years later, the same child, you take him now to some people who take him and put him with dead bodies for 3 days, no food. No, his mother is, she's evil. She is evil. Wait, I bring my child to you, and then you tell me you want to do this. Are you mad? Is there something wrong with you? You want to do that to my child? What is... I thought mothers protect babies, guys. Me, I thought mothers protect babies. I didn't know that mothers are the one now handing over their babies to... Guys, this is a pastor. Look at him. He has ministries talking this bullshit from his mouth. Ha! Okay.
In that cave, the things
In
I
the
saw
cave.
inside there those 3 days, like the spirits, Lucifer, the demons, could come and talk to me. Serpents could come into my body.
He saw spirits. He saw Lucifer in this cave. Sir, I've got questions. Mr. James Kawalya, I have got some questions. How do you know that what you saw was Lucifer? Let's start there. No. How do you know that what you saw was Lucifer? We've got no evidence for this thing called Lucifer. So how does this man know he saw? Guys, this is how preachers stand on their pulpits and lie through their teeth. Hey, and Jesus, the Jesus they say is alive, and Jesus is watching as they lie. They use Jesus's name to lie, and Jesus is watching them do this and does nothing. And yet somebody will come and tell me that Jesus and God exist. Yep. They want us to believe that the God he claims to be speaking on behalf of, that those gods exist. You see? Goodness gracious me. God.
You know, all kinds of things were done on my body.
Oh, Donald.
So it was being in.
Donald, I don't know if you were here. This man's mother, because she was looking for a boy child, was in the forest for 14 days, naked. Sacrificed 63 cows. Then eventually went back home, had the baby, had him. And they told her the day the baby is born, he must bring him. As soon as he was born, quickly, she carried her baby off to the forest. There was a party, candlelight party. This man said in the forest. Wedding between him, 1-day-old baby, and 60-year-old intercontinental witch. Pastor, please slow down the lies. Pastor, look at his mouth. Slow it down. Come on. And this grown man, the other man opposite him, his name is James. He sits there and he is in awe of this story. He's like, what? Guys, when you come away from religion, when you finally deconstruct from religion, it's easy to spot the lies. It's easy to spot the BS. If I was still a religious person, I probably won't see it. I too would, oh goodness, no. But even when I was a Christian, I'm sure I still had some critical thinking. I don't know.
Initiated into deep occultism and witchcraft, like every part of my body. Now, that's the first time I am knowing about the snake, which now my man to tell me which came at birth. I remember it came around me, coiled around me in the cave and entered my body.
Wait, physically or spiritually?
Physically. And all my life until I got born.
Pastor, no. Pastor, don't do this. Pastor, stop it. Guys, the snake. Oh my God. Wait, no, we have to take that back. Listen. Say what again?
All my life until I got born again, it lived in my body. I could know when it's moving. I could know, like,
No.
tell something is moving for 3 days and 3 nights without food, without water.
And how old are you at this point?
Now towards 4.
It's
It's just a few weeks from the death of my uncle.
Wow.
So now I remember the pain and the betrayal I felt as a child. That now my only mother, the one who I thought would protect me, has handed me over to these people who have now locked me in a cave with dead bodies, pitch dark, day for 3 days, hungry without food. Now, so what happened in that cave? The things I saw inside there those 3 days.
Oh, we've been through all of this.
Spirits, Lucifer, the demons could come and talk to me. Serpents could come into my body. All kinds of things were done on my body.
Serpents.
So it was being initiated into deep occultism and witchcraft, like every part of my body. Now, that's the first time I am knowing about the snake, which now my man to tell me which came at birth. I remember it came around me, coiled around me in the cave and entered my body.
Wait, physically or spiritually?
Physically. And all my life until I got born again, it lived in my
What part of your body? What orifice did that snake go up into your what part of your body did the snake? Guys, this is 2023. Oh goodness. This is 2023 and a pastor opens his mouth and talks his bullshit. A snake wraps itself around him, doesn't stop there, now enters into his body. Any guesses where this snake went through? Any guesses? I already have ideas in my head. Because when a snake has wrapped itself around you, the only possible places that the snake can enter that might have sufficient room is maybe your mouth or in the anal region, right? The anal maybe, because goodness, what is this, Pastor? Man.
my body. I could know when it's moving. I could know, like, you could tell something is moving in the body. It's like now the spirit in this like took over and now it could control me. Now, from that time on, say this, until the day I got born again, all my life I was in pain. There's no day I remember I was not in pain until the day I gave my life to Jesus for 24 years. Every day, that pain was there in my body. All because that thing had to keep me in pain in order to use it.
Is in his
Because
mind.
Satan controls you through pain. Because it has to manipulate it, control you. So it had to keep in my body. I could not eat well. I could not live well. So the only way I could avoid pain is to be drinking. So I began drink alcohol, and what I became addicted to alcohol because that's the only way I could now kill
Numb
that
the
pain,
pain, yeah.
numb the
So
pain.
that's a powerful thing you said. Satan controls you through pain. There's so many people that, have come into the trap of the enemy because of bitterness and all sorts of things that have happened in their past that have not been resolved through the cross and accepting Jesus. In fact, they may have accepted Jesus, but they've not allowed him to bring healing and they've not forgiven. But that's an access point for control of the enemy.
Yeah, because it controls the pain. And also, you can give your life to Jesus Christ, but you need, first of all, deliverance, and you need also healing to restore your soul. Because if you've given yourself to the enemy,
Guys, remember he said salvation is free at first. Remember that? Salvation is free. But then, when you receive Jesus, there are other steps as well. You have to do deliverance and some other stuff and all whatnot. This whole Jesus thing does not make sense. Are you receiving Jesus, or what are you doing? How do you receive Jesus? Then you now need deliverance, you need these other things, you need, it's either you're receiving Jesus or you don't receive Jesus. That Jesus is whatever Jesus did is so pointless. I just don't understand. When you receive Jesus, do you receive him one time or do you receive him many times? Right? How does it work? Jesus' salvation. How? It just doesn't. Anyway, never mind. That's not the issue here. Oh
the
goodness.
first thing he will fragment your soul and keep all
Fragment
different parts of
your
your soul in
soul.
different
Fragment your
prisons.
soul.
Bitterness, anger, sadness, guilt, hatred, traumas, all these. Each one of them is like a print on your life, and it now has given you a false identity and personality, which is not you. So you have the identity and the personality of the demons that are now residing
inside
in
you.
pits where the pain is.
The pits.
So I have the pain. I hate my mother and I hate everyone.
Right.
I don't know my father.
Of course.
So the enemy, every time is to use me, is to remind me that humans are bad. You have to kill them. You have to do this. They are evil. They are bad. They hate you. I don't have. Remember, there's no emotional attachment. Because as a child is growing up, the love you get from your parents is what now grows in you. So now, because there was not that emotionally, I didn't have emotion. I was emotionally trapped. I didn't understand what's love.
Emotionally trapped.
What's fear. I never cried.
Guys.
I never laughed.
Wow.
Because I didn't understand this. You see.
So now you go through this deep ritual. 3 days is completed. You come out, and what happens? People are worshiping you.
When I come out, what surprised me, hundreds of people are waiting for me. So they come out and they're worshiping.
After he comes out of the cave,
worshiping,
and you're 4 years
I'm
old.
4 years old. So I said, what's going on? Now my mother has no access to me, has no authority over me, because now that's when I know. Now I've been initiated and ordained as a witch. So from that time, there's a part of me that's human. I want to be a child. But then the people treat me like a power. You want to play, but no one comes next to you. First of all, no parent would allow their child to come near you. You see, so you're busy. People could come every day and night for help, to get powers, to get what. Then some of them
they come to him for powers.
So painful. Even I remember right now and read it. It had a lot of the people as older than my mother could come, and they have to undress to be naked before me, women. And then you have to give them powers. Now, if a 4-year-old you're exposed to such, that affects your life. And even today, it affected my life until Jesus healed me. You're seeing naked women and naked men. You are a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old.
This 4-year-old, the people who come to him for powers have to be naked. This man, guys, do you think that this man is telling the truth? Is this, for me, this is sounding too good to be true. It's too much for me. I cannot wrap my head around it. But could we give the benefit of the doubt? What do you think? Please, somebody, I need to know. Do you think, let's give the benefit of the doubt, it might just have happened the way he's describing it? Huh? Somebody, please now, help. Somebody must know. What are you guys? What are your thoughts? Oh goodness. What?
that affects the way you look at people, the way you think, the way. So what Satan does is to abuse. You see, when people abuse children, people think it's just lust. Sometimes in initiation, they're initiating them when they expose them to pornography, when they expose them to all these things, like men and who abuse children. Like, and in my ministry, I found that many people that who are struggling to be healed and delivered, it happened. Their exposure was in childhood between 1 and 6. Those were sexual abuse. Those were molested by teachers, parents, siblings, and all. And it is a gate the enemy uses to trap the soul. So mine was trapped. But okay, the killing of my uncle trapped me.
Yeah.
Then the betrayal of my mom trapped me. But then the years of being exposed to such things, like you, women and men, come to you every day, have to undress, sit naked before you.
So at this point, where are you living? Are you just living in the forest somewhere? Are you with your mom still?
And now the home where I'm living, my father left. It's like now a hospital. It's like
oh, so at this point you'll go back home, and lots of people are now visiting your house
because the other woman, her powers have been transferred now. So they know where this. They call me the baby. They call me the baby witch, where the baby witch eats. So they could come for powers for what and what. And I would say this sometimes. I fear to say, but I would say even some people in church circles could come to
Pastor. In case you ever watch this, I need you to hear me. In case you or any one of the people who believe you watch this, this is not a story you glorify. Some people need to be in jail just from listening to this story. The child abuse that has gone on here, it is reprehensible. There is no this is child abuse. You get a 4-year-old and call him the whatever, and get people to come and bow down or whatever to him, and these adults are naked. Sir, if you hear this, yes, he was molested. Laron, if you ever hear this, you see this story here, you all are sitting here and you are talking about child abuse. For some reason, you all can't see it. This man said this story, the things that happened to him, is for God to glorify himself. God glorifies himself in child. Is this what God uses the pain of a child to glorify himself? My heart breaks.
Pastors and bishops, some of them could come to me for powers in their so-called ministries. And so when I got born again, the Lord, after the Lord led me to most of them who were still alive and could say, you remember what you were doing, and you need to confess it, to repent and turn away. And many could say, I have the name, the big congregation. I can't. People will run away from me. And I tell you, I'm going to expose you. But the Lord told me now, expose them will not help.
You said you told them you were going to expose them.
I'm going to expose them. But the Lord told me exposing them will not help. What help is them to repent. But for years I feared. I knew.
Guys, this is it. This is where Christianity becomes toxic. He knew they'd done him wrong. He knew. And he was going to expose them, right? That's what he said. But God spoke to him and said, no, that's not the way to do it. Get them to repent. Get your abusers to repent. Get your abusers to repent and all is well with the world. The abuse is written off. This is what they tell people in Christianity. And this is why they don't report abuse. Let God deal with them. Gosh.
how dangerous it was until 2016 when I shared my testimony. You know, I never shared my testimony until 20. What you had, it was my first time sharing my life story.
Yeah. So just for breaking in the story here. So I got you the testimony you shared. African. I got it maybe somewhere around 2017. Someone was there that heard the testimony and then gave me the CD, and I've lost it now. But I remember being so marked, not by this part of the story, but there's some
where we're going.
And it was connected with intercessory prayer. I was so marked. And then as God will have you, I knew someone that knew you. And then they connected us, and here we are today. But this is just incredible to just hear how you were so deep in the occult and how you were helping even men who were serving God in quotes, but using demonic powers at 4, at 5. The wisdom you were dispensing to them, was it just flowing through you without you even aware where you got it from?
I don't know where it was coming from.
So you're just giving instructions and directions, and
because at that time when I left that place, that cave, the spirit world and the natural world could be before me 24 hours. I could see them like I'm looking at you. So I could know people's past.
Guys.
I could know where they're coming from. And I could know what is done in secret. I could know
I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. I just thanks, Paul. I saw your message, Paul. Right? That's all I saw. I was still talking. I was still just yapping away. I'm so sorry. And then I seen the message from Paul saying, "Yeah, for it is you're gone, but the stream from the stream, but the stream is live." Like what? What? So thank you. I apologize. I don't know what happened. It just took me out. Not the magic snake. Not the magic snake. Oh, goodness. Oh, magic snake. Let me tell you, if any magic snake comes near me, I look, that magic snake will regret coming. Because by the time I grab that snake and get that snake, I will make it work. I will put it to. I won't unalive it, kill it. No, 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 no. I don't like snakes, but come on, I'm not trying to abuse any animals. But for coming in my space uninvited, huh? You do not respect my territory. Whoever sent you will regret sending you. By the time I'm done with you, lock you up inside a inside somewhere. Huh? It was a peaceful sunset. Oh, Paul's that laugh. Paul, I think the super chats are working now. I think guys, make sure your turn, the what do you call it? The thumbs up button, please. Make sure you do that. If you are not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed, please. Guys, snake. A snake will regret coming. Don't bother. Just don't bother. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know that y'all couldn't see the video. Hold on. Sorry about that. Here I was thinking everyone was watching. Goodness. I've been away from this whole StreamYard for too long. I need to try and get my head around this thing, right? So I need to, get back in the zone. Guys, I've got a few videos lined up. So just watch this space. Watch this space. My goodness. There's a lot going on in religion, in Christianity. There's so much going on. So much bullshit going on. So much bullshit. And to think that the God of Christianity actually exists while this bullshit is going on. I'm sorry. I am not convinced. I am not convinced that that God exists. My professional style didn't change. Oh, thank you. You're so kind, Paul. Oh, guys, Paul, I've heard so much bullshit tonight in this video. And guys, it continues. This is going to be a part one. Tomorrow we'll finish part two. I just can't do this because, man, Jesus Jesus is coming back for real this time with a magic snake. Okay, that No, I don't like the mental image I got there just now with Jesus and snake. That you don't want to know the mental image. You because the man said the snake was wrapped around him and inside him. So if Jesus is coming with the magical snake, the snake will have to be wrapped around him and inside him. Just yeah, let that let that sink in. Think of Jesus, snake around him and inside him. Okay. Oh
But
yeah,
they had
yeah.
they had that human side of them, like pity and love, though they were in witchcraft. But now me, who didn't have any emotion, like raised without emotion, raised without a family, raised in bitterness, raised in anger, in rage, in all kind of hatred. So I could not feel anything like pity, like mercy, and what.
So when you killed them, this you did it by spiritual movement,
spiritual,
obviously attacking them what in dreams, sicknesses, all sort of things, and they knew they were in a battle with you.
With me, because now they know another prince is arising as to destroy the others. So they attack, you attack, and then if you are able to destroy them, let them when they die, then you take over the territory. So I took that territory for only 2 years. After 2 years, I'd finished my assignment, and then I am made to be a trainer
Of other witches,
of the now or whoever wants to be trained.
trained in anything,
In occult,
in occultism.
in astral projections, in what.
So by this time you're 9.
I'm 9. So I'm now beginning to be a trainer. As I said, that my mother, though she had that mental problem, she kept thinking that she can break this and I become a normal child. By the way, I'm also going to school at the same time.
Hey,
You were schooling.
Yes.
Well, how are you related to all the other children? Because you said earlier that no one wanted to play with you.
Yes, but my mother took me to school, and I remember most of my teachers in the earlier years, I could be in school like thrice or 4 times in a term. But surprisingly, all my school up to university, I was always the best. But I was not attending classes. I could not attend classes, but I knew,
I knew that's what he was going to say. He would only attend school 3 or 4 times in a term, but he was always the best because he is the territorial witch. He is the master witch trainer. Pastor, come on. Pastor, come on. Have the fear of the Lord. Come on. These lies. Purple, how are you doing? Hey. It was only, James says, I was only playing with Star Wars action figures at night. You could have been a territorial witch trader. Goodness, taking over territories spiritually, fighting battles. Gosh. Wow.
I could go and write my exams and be the best without attending classes.
Wow.
And I can't tell how. So I could, as a child, there's a part of me always that longed to be a child. Even when I grew up and I became born again, I find so attached to children than there's like a baby in me still longing to be a child, because I missed that as a child. I missed that as a baby. I didn't have that love. So it's like there's a part of me, a part of my life that was skipped. And it's not only me. I believe that I've found many people in my ministry of deliverance that their childhood was robbed out.
Their childhood was robbed from them.
Yes. Yeah. And I know some people watching right now, that may be one of the issues you're dealing with, that your child, a part of you was trapped as a child. They mean that by rape, trauma, exposure to witchcraft, death, accidents, and all this. And when your child is taken away robbed from you, you may find it hard to function in adulthood. At least the Lord can trace back the moment of the trauma, the moment of the abuse, and move and carry you through to bring to a place of healing. Now, for me, my child had taken away. Though, as I was growing up, I want to relate with people. I wanted to be, there's a part of.
So what happens to people that don't know your Lord and they have these trapped childhood scenarios? Because it's your Lord that helps trace your steps back to your childhood, right? Your Lord does that. So the people who don't believe in your Lord, what happens to them? Huh? Guys, you see why mental health and religion don't go hand in hand. because instead of looking at the symptoms, right, the presenting signs and symptoms, and trying to figure out what exactly is wrong. Could it be could it be an imbalance in the brain? Could you just need some talking therapies? Could you need some medication? Right? Could be something. No, 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 no. That's not the case. It's the spirit world. It's the spirit people. Your soul is trapped. And your soul was trapped when you were 3 years old and 2 years old. Religion can't help you in your time of mental distress. It will even make your symptoms worse, in my opinion. Gosh. Oh, I'm just.
Of me that long, I could look at children and want to be like them. But then if I relate with them, then the powers in me could maybe destroy them.
And wait, were these powers out of your control?
Yes, they're out of my control.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't
You show up and things just happen.
this happen.
Give us examples, like, because in your book you were saying something about you looked at someone and they fell over and they died.
I can look at.
There we go. This what you're hearing has been made into a book, has been put in CDs. They've been so. I get it. Now I get it. Honestly, now I get it. I finally figured it out. Yes. All of this has there is a book, guys. There's a book. Gosh.
A child like in school and I feel
Oh my goodness.
child just falls down and collapses and faints. Or I look at a teacher. I remember one time I was in like early years.
Guys, did you hear that? We're going to end very soon. But guys, this man has watched too many movies. No, he's recreating a movie in his head. Listen to this. He can look at a child and the child will just fall down. What did he say? Wait, hold on. Wait, we're at 4720. Ooh, guys, listen. Guys, listen to this. This man is wild. Listen, guys, listen.
Examples, like, because in your book you were saying something about you looked at someone and they fell over and they died.
I can look at a child like in school and I feel like child just falls down and collapses and faints. Or I look at a teacher. I remember one time I was in like early years, like after like kindergarten. I looked at the teacher. Maybe she shouted at me and she became blind.
What? Did she know that was you that did that to her?
Yes, because I think she tried to find out and say, you can. So she came to me and said, can you help me get back my sight? I said, okay, you will. Then the next day she was seeing. And so she told everyone in the school in that the fear to send me out of.
Guys. Okay. He looks at a child and the child falls down. A teacher upsets him. He looks and she's blind. And she comes to him. Give me my sight back. You know what, people? Thank God I'm an atheist. Thank God I am an atheist. Thank God. Oh, what? Oh, somebody, please rescue me. Rescue me from these lies. Hey. He told us he has powers. You know what? I need these powers. I do. I need these powers. Yes. Wherever they go to get this, I need it. I need some. So I can look at somebody, just look at them and make them fall down. I can look at somebody and just make them blind. Oh, Ooh. Hey, anyone who upsets me, can you imagine? I just say, you blind, 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 blind. Just make them all blind. Gosh darn it, man. This people. No, I'm not that cruel. I don't want those kind of powers. If I have powers, and this is why I call bullshit on all these claims of these stupid powers. I call bullshit. Your powers only do evil things. Your powers make people blind. Your powers help you to take revenge on people. Never do these powers ever do anything good. Go and look at the country he's talking about. He's from Uganda. They're one of the poorest in Africa, but he had this kind of powers in that country, but could not use those powers to do anything good. And this is why I know your powers are bullshit. And even if you did have those powers, to hell with it. Any powers that you have that is not able to help you or your community, fuck it. Disgusting. It disgusts me. Talking about powers to make people blind. People that they've not, no food to eat. No food on the table, or you can make people blind. They've got no health care. After blinding them, now they want to go and look for one person to come and help. No, man, this is pure evil. This is why I don't care what your powers, how powerful you are. Your powers are not being put to good use. Your power is not helping anybody out. Just get the fuck out of my sight with your powers. What is wrong with you? Gosh, but I have powers. Powers to make people blind. Your teacher. His teacher. His teacher. Pure evil, this man. This is pure evil. Your teacher. Who is teaching you, who is helping you. Helping you to gain an education. Teachers will upset you. Because of course, children, you don't want to work, you don't want to do. Teachers they will step on your toes. But then to go and blind your teacher? And he sits there with a smile on his face. Look at him. So ungrateful. Teacher leaves her home, leaves the children, leaves the family to come and teach this ingrate. And you make them blind. Not that I believe in this story, right? Just so you know. I call bullshit on this. But let's assume it did happen. It shows the character of this human. Your teacher, you make them blind. So because you are upset, now you want to blind that teacher so that she now won't be able to see to teach the others. It's no longer about everybody. It's now about you. Just get the fuck out of here, man. This man he's upsetting me now. Jesus. I am just I'm triggered. I am triggered.
The school because they didn't know what happened to the school.
I'm triggered.
Now that's the early years. So these forces were in me, out of my control. I didn't do them by my will. Because remember, as a 3-year-old, we were trapped in a cave. So it's as if your will is blocked.
Your will is blocked.
You are taken, something has taken over your life. And I know there are people even who today, they have not recovered their will. If they were involved in the occult, in witchcraft, in abuse, in all these, and they have been trapped.
Your will is blocked. Some people have not recovered their will. The same man will mount the pulpit and tell you that you have free will. Same one. He says some people who have never recovered their will. The same man will come and tell you there is free will.
Trapped. That's why they need inner healing, they need deliverance, they need now to someone to walk them the journey of healing. You know, people can hear the gospel, but there must be a ministry that facilitates the healing of the soul, especially the people that were trapped, especially in childhood. Those there's what they call the sexual abuse, the ritual sexual abuse. And because when I was there, most of these businessmen, the musicians, the celebrities could come
Here we
for
go.
hours, and they would
Here
get
we
the
go.
powers. Say, go and find a young child, a virgin, and rape her, sexually rape her, maybe 7. Like they're going to have a show, and say before for that show to be successful, find a guy.
They're going to have a what?
Like a show, like a music show.
Music show, right? Okay, okay.
A concert.
A concert, yes.
And they come for powers, and for that power, you need to find guys, rape them, sexually abuse them.
And as a child, in those early years, you were giving some of these instructions to some of these celebrities.
To celebrities, to politicians, to businessmen, and all this for spiritual powers.
And so when they do that act, they're also
Wait,
initiating.
wait, I'm
that
sorry.
child. So
I'm
the people
sorry. I
that
need
have
to go back
experienced
because I
some of
need to
these
hear this
horrific-
because this is going to raise a lot of questions.
You know,
for me.
people can hear the gospel, but there must be a ministry that facilitates the healing of the soul, especially the people that were trapped,
Okay.
especially in childhood. Those there's what they call the sexual abuse, the ritual sexual abuse. And
Ritual-
because when I was there, most of the
Ritual sexual abuse. Guys, let's listen to this. Something is said here that is going to raise a lot of questions for me. Let's see.
businessmen, the musicians, the celebrities could come for powers, and the way to get the powers, say, go and find a young child, a virgin, and rape her, sexually rape her, maybe 7. Like they're going to have a show, and say before for that show to be successful, find a guy.
They're going to have a what?
Like a show, like a music show.
Music show, right? Okay, okay.
A concert.
A concert, yes.
And they come for powers, and for that power, you need to find guys, rape them, sexually abuse them.
And as a child, in those early years, you were giving some of these instructions to some of these celebrities.
To celebrities, to politicians, to businessmen, and all this for spiritual powers.
And so when
As a child, guys, as a child, he knows to tell businessmen and musicians to go and find girls and do things to them. Guys, you know what? This is Christianity. Guys, this video has 1.7 million views and counting. I'm just going to play 1 more minute of this because right now I'm very triggered. I am very triggered. Sorry, guys. I'm just no.
they do that act, they're also initiating that child. So there are people that have experienced some of these horrific acts and don't even know that they were initiated through those acts.
They don't know. They find that part of them was robbed and taken away. And some of them, like this, for example, let me give an example. A musician, a celebrity, who gathers young girls around himself to use them every time before he goes for a concert. So those girls, they have been initiated. And then they go to their friends in schools and initiate also their friends and maybe relatives, like their brothers, their sisters, and expose them to the powers of darkness.
What are fruits that we see in the life of a person that helps us to know that there's been an initiation?
Isolation,
Right.
rebellion,
Isolation, rebellion. Okay.
anger.
Is normally any manifestation of actual witchcraft activities in their lives,
Yeah.
known or unknown to them,
Witches.
maybe consciously or subconsciously?
Known or unknown, because some of them, they receive what they call guardians. A voice takes over their lives, and they have like a multiple personality.
Multiple personalities.
Like another person. You see like young people who like suddenly they call themselves someone else. Say, I'm so and so, and you can discover that now another being is in charge of this person. So that is the initiation of what is being done. But let me go back to the story.
Let's go back to so back to tell you're 9 years old now.
Yeah.
And you've been promoted after you did all the bad stuff you did. And so what happens after you?
goodness.
Your mom is trying to find people.
Enough. Let me write down where we stop because my goodness, this man has watched too many movies. He is recreating things in his head. He is recreating things in his head. I want you all to just so you understand the impact of this is. Let's go and see just some comments. The very first comment on the video, right? The video now has 1.7 million views and it was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks. But the very first comment I come across out of 6,536 is mine. I said a lot of his claims aren't making sense. I call bullshit. How can a snake be wrapped around a baby without the mother able to have access to the child? How is the baby going to feed? And what did the snake eat? Sorry, the math is not mathing. His stories don't add up. That's what I said. Huh? Now, some other people, Jesus is so good. What a testimony. Thank you for blessing us with this video that must be watched from beginning to end. Jesus is king. Listen, it's this one that got me. Who else thinks this should become a movie? This will be so powerful in the theaters. Some people want to go and watch this in theaters. Some people. Oh, my own comment always shows first. Okay, all right, Paul. I was thinking, okay, how come my. Some people want to go and watch this bullshit in theaters. They want this recreated where a 4-year-old is telling grown adults to go and SA young girls. You see the level of depravity in Christianity. My goodness. This testimony has placed me and everyone else single-handedly at the feet of Jesus, my God. This testimony has opened my eyes in so many ways. The enemy starts to attack you even before you are born, and it depends on who you are spiritually. So, your God knows that the enemy is going to attack you before you are born, but still allows you to be born so that you can be attacked by the enemy. What kind of man? Every Christian everywhere needs to hear this testimony. If this doesn't wake us up from our slumber as followers of Christ, I don't know what will. God, thank you for your grace and mercy that is brand new every day. Huh? I must say the first hour was very difficult to watch and I had to stop, and now I'm back. Of course it's difficult to watch because the man is just making shit up. This is so powerful that I felt goosebumps while listening. I pray believers awaken to take up their place as intercessors. No, these believers, they are in serious trouble. Guys, enough of this bullshit with these people. Enough. This is too much. A triple omni God only works if you accept he is in. That's the only way he will work. That's the only way this God will work. He will not. The God does not. It's not for logical minds. It's not for minds that can think logically. He will not work then. He will just disappear into thin air. Just gone. Never see him. No, just gone. Guys, thank you all so much for just stopping with me. Make sure that you have hit the thumbs up, right? The super chat thingy, that is starting to work now. If anyone wants to make a contribution to the channel, I'll be back again tomorrow for part 2 of this. Or do you all want something different? This has got me very, very triggered. Don't know if I can, but we need. I don't know. I'll don't know if it's just too much in this video. It's too much. Hand it to him. He's making big money off this madness. That's what it's all about. The comments are always entertaining, but also often, yeah. The comments show you exactly the depths of the madness. People want to go and watch this in the movies. Guys, anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow. Paul, I don't know. Let's see if that song still plays. Remember the outro? I tried playing it the last time and it didn't quite work. So let's see. Okay, everyone, I will see you all tomorrow. You all take care of yourselves, okay? Goodness. All right, Ansel Archives. Oh my goodness. Guys, before I go, just so you know, everything what that man has said, I I share no part of that. Everything. They are not my views. I'm calling out the bullshit. It was bullshit from the beginning to the end of what you watched today. But there's more bullshit. Those are his views, those are his opinions. Nothing to do with me. There is no evidence for a God. There's no evidence for gods. There's no evidence for spirits, souls, heaven, hell, devil, all these things. There is no evidence for any of these things. Anyone who tells you that there is any of these things, they are lying to you. And until you have evidence for any of these things, for a god, gods, spirits, angels, demons, all these, you know, things that only exist in cuckoo land, doubt everything you hear. Doubt first. Doubt before believing. Don't believe before questions. Doubt. Come on. My, these people, they just evidence for succubus. Where do you see? Paul? All right, Paul, give me proof. Give me the evidence. Where can I find the evidence for succubus? Where did you see it? Hmm? Where's anywhere the evidence? I will go where the evidence is. I will go where the evidence is for succubus. Of all of them, you have found succubus. I'm going. I'm going there. Because if you find succubus, you find the other one. Incubus, you find the other one. So, come on, Paul. Where are we going? Paul, come on. Come on, Paul. Where are we going to find succubus? Come on. Where are we going to find succubus? Paul, come on. Please don't do that. Not Paul saying, I can't give it. You can't give. Paul, I thought you were a man of your word. I thought you were a stand-up guy. You have evidence for succubus, and now you don't want to tell us where to go. You enjoy her regardless. Okay, at least you're enjoying her. At least, right? So, I mean, I can't fault that. I mean, if succubus is benefiting you in one way or the other, listen, enjoy. Listen, just have fun, enjoy. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Succubus. All right, everyone. You all take care of yourselves. Oh my, succubus. Okay, let's see if this works.